Hey, everybody, it is Friday night. I love Friday night because we get to hang out with you. And we have one of our favorite guests, the amazing Jeni G. You guys know Jeni. And you're going to, if you don't know her, you're going to get to figure her out during our time together, during our conversation together, because Jenny's going to talk to us. She's an amazing psychic, an amazing clairvoyant. You're also a medium, aren't you, Jen?
Yes, and past life Akashic record readers, animal communicator, relationship coach, meditation teacher, so on and so on.
Jeni is the real deal, and that's sort of how our relationship evolved. She came on the show one day and told us some stuff about Broadcast Team Alpha, and it was just so spot on that Jeni became a regular in my life and, of course, on our shows. So Jen, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell everybody how they can connect with you at the end. So you guys have to hang around till the end. But what is going on in the planets and the astrology and the energy, and Mercury's going retro, right? What's going on, Jen?
Well, August, this month, is the most powerful month of the year. This energy wraps around the Lionsgate portal on August the 8th. And August 8th for the 8th day. 8-8 is all about abundance, prosperity, manifestation, and so on. The 8th is also the biggest portal of the entire year. And this energy started to come in around the 26th of July. And then it starts to end on the 12th of August. And the in-between hand, whatever you want to manifest. Write it down on a vision board. I mean, we had the super full moon on August the 1st. We also have another super full moon on the 30th and 31st. So we have two super moons in August. We have the Lionsgate portal. We have Mercury retrograde, which started the pre-retrograde on August 3rd and 4th. And that can be worse than the actual retrograde as it is. That starts the 23rd and 24th of August until mid-September. And we have Chiron retrograde and Venus retrograde. So Chiron retrograde, now this is where a lot of people can have a really hard time. It's been here for a little while. Chiron is that wounded healer. So you might find that like old wounds from like many years ago, from childhood, even past life, to any time, come back to the surface. It's like if you're sitting back and you're like doing whatever it is, you could start all of a sudden getting emotional or going into crying spits, and like, why all of a sudden did that memory come back? And the reason being is because you've been holding on to this. We go through little stages where we work through certain traumas and such like that. And Chiron energy brings things to the surface on purpose for your soul, so you can work through that energy and start healing more. Because if you run from it, you can't run from your problems, like abandonment, rejection, self-worth, not feeling worthy, like whatever it is. Wow. And this energy is going until December as well. So, and we have Venus as well, energy. Venus is relationships, and that can be relationships, you know, like business, personal, if it's a partnership, it's a friend, if it's like your boss, like whoever it is. And it's showing you certain relationships that you don't connect with anymore. And it's also showing you, okay, who are you connecting with more? This super moon as well, it's showing you who you're not in alignment with. So there could have been certain issues that, you know, needed to be resolved or whatever like that, or misunderstandings. But certain situations, it's just showing you, okay, who are you not in alignment with? Who are you really defending yourself to? Who are you arguing with? All of those kinds of things. And then it's time to sit back and say, you know, I'm not going to defend who I am in this right? So you have to take a look at, especially with relationships, that's that Venus energy as well. So there's huge energy this month. Like I can feel it going right through me. I'm a Leo. So it goes right through me, literally.
Yeah.
It's huge. I know exactly what happened to me last year on the 8th of August. So expect the unexpected.
Well, it's so interesting, Jen. I think I can do this and stay steady. A year ago, Beanie died, my other dog, and for whatever reason, I've carried around 2 cats, my beloved long-haired Chihuahua, and Beanie's ashes. Like I just keep carrying them around. Today, I have chills. I was like pushed, like I had a finger, in the back of my ribs, going, "Come on, go do it. Go, you got to go do it. You got to do it." I made a beautiful basket with flowers, and I let them go. And I didn't know why, but now I think I'm piecing it together with this relationship stuff.
Yeah. Because our animals, of course, they're our family. There are, you're an animal person, I'm an animal person, and our dogs, cats, and they're my heart. So it's good. And also too, it's like, pay attention to your dreams, really pay attention to your dreams, like because the way the world is right now, and I mean, it has been, our spirit guides, our angels, are, the people that have passed on and such, they're more closer to you with all of the world destruction, as I call it, because they want you to know they're with you, especially if you're having a hard time, regardless of what. So, even yesterday, for instance, all of a sudden 2 pictures came out just out of nowhere of 2 friends of mine who had passed on. And I'm like, oh, isn't that it? And it just boom, come up on my phone. And I'm like, that was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So,
Jen, I have a question about what you said before. Lynn, Beanie. So the energies about relationship and change are all coming up, and we're figuring out who we vibe with and who we don't vibe with. But, right now, with everybody being a little hyper vigilant, a little bit on edge, the possibility exists that if you're assessing a relationship during this time, during this energy, you could make a mistake, right? I mean, you could kick somebody to the curb, and then once these energies shift, go, "Oh man, what did I do?" I mean, is that true? Yeah,
and I mean that's all a part of this energies right now too, right? Even with Mercury retrograde, it's going to start now, right? So people from our past come back. And it can be anybody. And when somebody from your past comes back, especially if you've had like an argument with them, or, a falling out or whatever like that. And when somebody wants to say, "You know what, I'm really sorry, I wasn't thinking," or like whatever it was, always forgive. Always forgive. Nobody's perfect. We all have our own journey and such like that we're battling with and dealing with. It doesn't mean that you have to start hanging out with them again. It doesn't mean that, you have to be real personal friends or anything like that anymore, because it's really important to forgive somebody so you can move on with peace regardless of what. And also new relationships can come back in Mercury retrograde. And I always recommend that if you meet somebody, I always get all these calls, "Oh, I've just met my soulmate." During Mercury retrograde, don't start a new relationship and go into it very quickly. You can take your time getting to know them slowly, because you can find that things aren't what you think they are.
Yes. I'm just writing in the chat that if people have a question, they should include their astrological sign.
Right. I need a first name and even a sign, of course.
First name, sign,
right? Like a first name, absolutely.
So Auric Vibe is asking, is this a time of releasing or healing triggers?
It's everything, because with Chiron, that energy is going to be bringing up all of these like wounds that we're holding within our soul. And that can be anything, like anything from trauma to feeling, geez, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this, or I don't know if I'm, able to do that job, like whatever it is, it's your fears that are trying to talk to you. So I recommend to people, whenever you start having that fears come up, actually write it on paper. Write down, okay, this is my fear, whatever it is. Write down the positives about that and write down the negatives about that. Like, I'm not telling somebody to go skydiving unless you haven't, like had proper training or, things like that. So it's embracing things and not running from them. Nobody likes to go back and process pain and memories with certain things. However, you stuff it down. And that's why these energies, I work with these energies. So it's like Chiron energy. When I have a memory or something, whatever it is, come up, I stay in that moment. And I'm like, okay, what's coming through? Why is this coming through? What do I have to resolve or heal or deal with? And take that time for you. Even write it down if you have to. If you're not understanding why, just start writing it down, and you can say, Spirit, please show me why this is coming back up. Because certain traumas are very traumatic, and trauma release is a process that can take a long time. We all process things differently, and for many, many reasons. Not everyone is the same, processing, healing, and dealing with all of that.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. Somebody wrote in the chat that that trauma, rejection, and abandonment is coming up, and I noticed that before I even knew what the planetary alignment was doing, because all of a sudden, like you said before, I'm like, oh my God, where is this coming from? I took care of this such a long time. Then 2 people from 20 and 30 years ago, Jen, showed back up in my life 20 and 30 years ago. Like, wow.
And also, by the way, if the longer that, okay, so 20, 30 years ago, they showed up for you. So when it's that long of a time, really look back on, okay, the last time I heard from them was 20 years ago, let's say, whatever the time was. If you can remember, take a look at what was going on then. Because the same themes could very well be coming back right now for you. And the longer you haven't seen somebody, the more your life is going to change. And it could be similar to that time around then. Like, let's say if somebody was getting into a new relationship, you very well could be getting into a new relationship right now. If somebody was, I just moved across the other world, right? You very well could be doing that now, or moving back. So there's very similar themes right now. And what has been triggering you guys, by the way, for the past 2 weeks, this is the theme that you're also going to be dealing with in Mercury retrograde. Right?
How long before this passes?
Well, Mercury retrograde, it goes on to like mid-September. Like, for me, the worst part about Mercury retrograde is technical and electrical issues.
Yes.
That's the worst for me, because I'm online all day long working and stuff like that, right? Because it can cause issues traveling. Don't travel to a new location you've never been to if you can help it, because all hell could break loose. That happened to me, and I'm like, what? Like, what stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, you traveled to the Big Island during Mercury retrograde for the first time ever. And every single day, something hugely major happened. And I'm like, what's going on? There's always travel delays, regardless of where. And even if you go travel in somewhere that you've been, it'll be easier than going to somewhere you've never been before.
Well, I've noticed that around here, when there's usually never any traffic, all of a sudden there's road work. That's really taking things a long time. Let me grab some questions out of here. Let's see. I saw somebody, Sophie. Sophie is saying right now her body is having migraines. What is her body looking for, or what's the meaning of those?
Well, we are in ascension as well. we have been in ascension for a while, and your body goes through all these different changes. And this is why, like, for instance, I do on YouTube weekly cosmic vibes, I call it, because I'll tell you every single day what the energy is. So you could have today, your feet might cause you problems, tomorrow could be your shoulder, and so on. And we also have solar flares. Now, solar flares, it affects everybody. Like, all of these energies affects your animals and you. And the solar flares can cause headaches, sleepless nights. It can create your body to go out of alignment. And this is how, like, the weather starts to change, like volcanoes start to erupt, like big hurricanes and weather issues and such like that. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. So our bodies are trying to work through it as well. And you're going to find that certain days, let's say if it's a full moon, for an example, it's try not to, like, have a lot of foods that aren't good for you, because your body is still struggling with the energies. So with her body right now, she needs to drink a lot more water. People can say, I drink water. No, because of the solar flares, you have to drink a lot of water, because just vision this like fireball, huge fireball that is closer to the earth with the solar flares. It's like standing on the edge of a volcano. You're going to feel that heat. So the solar flare energy, it makes your body go out of alignment. So when you're having those days, like if you're really exhausted, let's say, just don't push it.
Yeah, that's so good.
She needs to drink a lot more water, and she's, because her body is starting to deplete more with vitamins and some minerals as well, I'm hearing.
Yes.
She needs to be a little bit more alkaline, get some green drink in her, like, like spirulina, chlorella, such like that.
Love it. Love it. So that was Sophie. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Linda, Faith Inspired, is Aquarius. And she said, with this being a time of change, will this new opportunity in September be the best direction for her? She's Aquarian.
Yeah, if this opportunity, she's very intuitive, by the way.
Absolutely.
Very gifted, I'm hearing right away, like she's very connected, very intuitive. She's really got to distract everything out, anybody who's trying to pull her off and distract her, and follow her passions, because I also see her like reading or studying something and really expanding. She's got that very old soul in her, a teacher. She can teach. So it's really important for her to really like gravitate towards what she's passionate about. I'm also seeing study books. She's going to be reading more about something. And yeah, I expansion in a really good way. I'm liking that. Like, I'm really seeing like the big waves on that one. It like big waves mean like big expansion.
Wow, that's lovely. I love hearing. Marius says, does positive affirmations have a most positive effect when envisioning first?
Yeah, like positive affirmations. You can start writing down positive affirmations, what you connect with, what you resonate with. And I mean, like first thing in the morning with me, like I'm 100% self-employed. So I mean, first thing in the morning when I get up, I'm saying positive affirmations. It's going to be an awesome day. It's going to be a really good day. I'm open to, abundance and prosperity and new opportunities that are best for my higher self and highest good. And then I surrender it to spirit and I go on with my day. I don't think about how and put all this pressure on me. I just kind of go on with my day. Because when you're in alignment more with positive energy, I mean, we all have stuff we have to deal with. We all have challenges. All of us do, regardless what it is. And it's about how we go about it.
Yes.
And letting the fear go with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've gotten more away from the nuts and bolts of what I want. And I more pave my day with the feeling that I want. I want peace. I want ease. I want it to flow. I want it to be uneventful, or I want it to be filled with love. And or expeditious, it depends on what I'm doing. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I've noticed personally when I have a very specific intention, and when I can connect to the vision and I get that like gut hit, I know I'm on the frequency with it. I love when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to follow like what resonates with you, because if you start, we can all get advice and suggestions, which is wonderful. I'm always open for that kind of stuff, even myself. But you have to follow the path that resonates with you. Like other people might be saying, no, 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 no. But it's like, you know what? This is me. We all are gifted and talented in our own way. And if you are walking your path that feels right for you, that you resonate with, you're going to be surprised of what doors open for you, because this is all about expect the unexpected as well. If you have to go along with how other people want this and this and this and that, if you don't resonate with it, if it's not clicking, don't, because that's your soul saying, you know what? That's not your path. I mean, it might be the right path for this person or somebody else, but if it's like,
Right.
I don't know, it just doesn't resonate with me, it's just not your path.
Right. Well, so yeah. So what's next? What's better? How does it get better than this? When I meet with closed doors now, I just try to go, okay, that's a closed door. Let me go look over here.
Yeah. Yeah, because like spirit, as I call it, and I've seen it so many times, that spirit has a tendency to step in and they're like, oh, no, you're not. Like I literally, just a quick example, I was going out with a couple of friends. This was, quite some time ago, and I didn't want to go. I just didn't want to go, and they're like, come on. And I'm like, Jenny, why are you going? So anyways, we're walking to this place where we're going. And all of a sudden I felt somebody come up behind me and slap me on the back, and I fell down and twisted my ankle. So I couldn't go. And nobody was behind me.
Wow.
Nobody was behind me. They're like, you're not going anywhere. You're not listening to yourself. That's not the direction to go. With these, with your friends or whatever. And, like, it's not that there's anything against them. I just didn't want to go to where they were going, to the location. Right.
Yeah.
So spirit will step in at times and like stop things or all of that. So you have to trust the delays and roadblocks.
Yes.
Like even an airline, when I worked for an airline, the last thing an airline wants to do is have any delays. This was years ago. It's got to be more now. It cost the airline $3,000 a minute for every minute they're delayed.
Wow.
That was years ago. So I don't know what it is now.
Yeah. So now I have to ask. I'm gonna put the chat down, guys. So now I have to ask. The things that we ask for and the things that come through, the things that manifest, like you got pushed and couldn't go. How much of that is our mind manifesting or spirit interceding and helping us? What do you think about that?
Well, we have our energies all around us all the time. So I was really like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So yeah, you can create that to happen naturally. However, I felt that slap. Like I felt, boo, somebody pushed me. I thought somebody's behind me wanting to get by me, like knocked down. So because I wasn't listening to my soul, right, whoever it was, I mean, I don't know who it was, because I was like, oh, my ankle, right? Like that person is like, you're not going, because if you go, it could do whatever, right? So your mind automatically, that vibrational frequency sends that energy of warning. It's like if you're scared of something or whatever like that, right? Depending on the circumstances, you're walking down the street, you see like criminals and you're like, oh my God, I go into fear zone, let's say, right? That energy can go either way, right? And sometimes all of a sudden spirit, whoever it is, steps in, and all of a sudden those people start walking the other direction. Or you cross the street and nothing happens, right? So there's so much more in that, but right away it's that vibrational frequency, that boom, boom. It's like that connection, right? Those antennas go up.
Yeah, yeah. And then in daily life, though, in your line of work, because you see a lot of stuff, and you talk with a lot of people, and you understand how things roll out for people. Overall, Jen, like really overall in life, how much do you think the things that we manifest come from our mind or from assistance on the other side? Is it like 50-50, 40-60, or?
Well, it really depends. Like when somebody like when I'm doing a one-on-one with somebody, the first thing I do is I read somebody very quickly. I read into their level of consciousness the first thing. And then I see all their past lives, boom, boom, boom. It's like that flash within seconds, so I know where they're at. And, we all come back and we have, of course, karmic situations declared and resolved. So certain things, of course, are pre-planned or predestined to happen to you. Like I even saw my own death. I was showing everything in this lifetime in that. So when I start to see that come, I can make that decision of, I'm not ready to go, or maybe I will be. And the place I was supposed to go to, I've been constantly delayed, spirit stepping in. It's not my time yet, right? So certain things we can manifest, anything we want. I've manifested every single thing I ever wanted at the last second. I didn't sign the contract, and that was when I was moving to the island 2 years ago, right?
Wow.
So write down, I always tell everybody, write a vision board, because the second you start writing down what your dreams are, be very specific. That's when the universe steps in, because you're physically writing. So the universe physically starts making things happen for you, but you've got to be very specific. Oh, you know what? I asked for my soulmate. Oh, I met my soulmate. And I'm like, oh my God, that's somebody karmic from your past life, and you're going to get hurt. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you have to be very specific with what you want. We all can attract whatever we want at any given time. This is why you got to be very specific and be like, you know what? I got to be careful what I'm wanting to manifest.
Yes, absolutely. So, Jen, what do you see astrologically and psychically? What do you see for the world coming up for us?
Well, I mean, like the first thing that I say before anything is really important. It's for people to let go of the fear. There's so much fear out in the world. I get people calling me and oh my God, I just heard this. And I'm like, stay away from all of that, because yeah, of course the world is changing. We can all see it. There's more changes now than there has been in over 10,000 years. So this year is humanity waking up. I even did a video on my predictions for the full year. I think it was December last year, and it's a spiritual war. And it all comes down to your level of consciousness, walking in your path that resonates with you, because it's so easy to get pulled into the fear, and if you do that, you're going to attract it. You're going to attract that to happen to you. Oh my God, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. All of a sudden, boom, it happens to you. And you're like, oh my God, that's how it happened. And I'm like, no, because you went into that fear zone and you manifested that to happen and come to you. So yes, as we go through certain changes, you still have to walk your path, right? There's electrical cars coming out. I've been talking about how many things are getting, the animals, especially in the sea. I've been talking about that on my Cosmic Vibes videos for quite some time, and God be with me. I made the mistake of watching a video online of the man in Egypt who got killed by the shark. I don't know if anybody saw that, and I wished I didn't see that. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was right there.
Yeah. Was he one of those men that go up and put their hands on the nose of the shark?
No, he was swimming in Egypt as normal. A shark came up and tossed him around in the air. And his dad, he was calling out, crying for his dad. I watched it on YouTube, how stupid of me, right? So it's in my mind, and it's all over, right? So it's like the sea life, the sea world is tired of what's really going on under the water.
Yeah,
they've been talking for so long about it that's why I get drawn even to the ocean, so I can talk more and connect, because I'm an animal communicator, with the ocean life and such like that. There's so much energy going on, in the waters and such like that. Like, I won't even go hiking in wilderness because I respect the animals. That's their energy. I don't, I'm not against anybody hiking. No, 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 no. But for me, I just don't do that. That's their land. You know what I mean? Humans have damaged it enough. But yeah, there's like more electrical, there's more digital stuff coming out, passports and all of this kind of stuff as well. Right. Things have lifted, and the WHO is trying to, I could go on about that, but I'm not. I get really upset, right? They're trying to do more restrictions and all of these kinds of things, so nobody who's unvaccinated can ever travel again. So much of that is going on, and it's like staying in the moment. Like, staying in the moment is really important. Still writing your dreams down. Everything is really, really important. Like power shortages, even today. Really. Augie called me today. It's a long story. You'd have to talk to him about it, even the name of the show. But within less than a minute, like 10 seconds, when I was talking to Augie, my whole power went off, just boof, like that. And I'm like, oh, Augie, like, oh my gosh, right? Wow. There's a long kind of story with that, right? But certain little things are happening more. The spirit world is more connected with you. They're trying to get your attention. They're trying to talk to you more. More shocking news. People are, nobody can run from their karma. We've all seen what's been realistically happening in the world, in a rude awakening, right? So once upon a time, people saw things this way. Now they've seen the truth with what's happened.
Yes. And I really agree with you that being specific about what you want and your intentions, because maybe it looks like there's a restriction on travel, but if you stay faithful to your vision of traveling, something's going to happen. You're just going to, something's going to shift that one day, and just that one day only, they've lifted the ban or whatever, and boom, there you go, you're traveling. I mean, that really, really happens if we stay faithful. It's a good point.
So that's where I send, I send unconditional love to everybody and humanity and everything, However, that's prominently where I send the unconditional love to, because they're the ones that have to see what they have been doing to humanity.
Right. And I imagine the possibility exists that some of them may want to jump the fence and come over into the light. I mean, that possibility could exist. But my other question is, if you're sending...
I've had that happen.
What if you send unconditional love to a particularly feisty, dark spirit? I mean, how do you protect yourself from that?
So, long story short, without giving names, many years ago, one of my clients was a Hells Angels biker, a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's a long story. But he was a bad guy. Long story. However, when I had a talk with him, because I read into somebody's level of consciousness and I go deep. And with this guy specifically, I wanted to go deep really fast on purpose because I knew how to do it. So I talked with him for 2 hours. I didn't charge him anything because it was randomly. So anyways, long story short, I saw him about 3 times, 3 sessions. I even had the police come to my door one time, and they followed him to my place, and they're like, "Are you okay?" Right?
Wow.
I'm like, "I'm okay, thank you." Yeah. He was pretty high up there in the rank.
Yeah.
So anyways, long story. He fell to his knees crying because I knew where to push. I know how to push people on purpose to help them and give them, the ways out, right?
Yeah.
So he left. He's no longer in that. He's a completely different person.
Oh, Jen,
You
I'm
would
sure.
not recognize him. If you ever saw him the way he looked, you'd be
No
like,
way.
oh my
Yeah.
God, he would be on one of those television shows, Mayans, or, you know,
Right.
oh my gosh, right? And yeah,
Wow.
and even his mother lived down the street from me too, by the way.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you're
in one of the nursing homes. So that's how I kind of connected with him, right? But he left and he's a completely different person. He changed his life because, that's the thing. Sometimes they just, somebody just needs that unconditional love and
yes.
acknowledgement that I feel your pain. I can see what happened. I can,
Yes.
that's why nobody can ever judge anybody ever,
No.
ever. You don't know that person's path. You don't know what happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our judgment, of course, limits us. But when we judge people that way, we're sending energy out to keep them stuck in a place that they don't want to even be. They might be trying to expand out of that, and it's none of our business to, push that energy. I mean, of course, we can't create in their life. You can ask questions and they can create in their life, but still, you have an influence putting your energy out there, judging them for what they were in the past or whatever. Right. I love that you did that. That's a cool story. That's a very
Yeah.
cool story.
Yeah, there's a few, but that one that one was quite extraordinary. It really
Yeah.
was. Like I was really happy, and then he
Oh,
wanted to date me, and I'm like, no, I'm okay, thanks.
it's like, no, no,
Right?
I'm
Because
good.
he says you're the only person that can see me and understand me, and I'm like, no, I know. However,
No,
right?
but
Thank you, but
yeah, you can come for another session, but yeah, I'm good. That's so
yeah.
funny. So funny. Um, Tell people how to reach you and how to have sessions with you. So you offer life coaching, you offer Akashic records, you do regular astrology and psychic sessions, and what else? And of
Yeah,
course,
I don't put astrology charts together. No, like I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium, past life Akashic record reader. So I do past lives, clairvoyance. I don't use cards on anyone because I can see right through the person, and relationship coach, meditation teacher. So, and I give you those steps how to get out of your situations, and that really makes a really big difference rather than just giving the answers. I tell you exactly why and what's happening to you, why these things are happening, what I see for your insights. They can ask any questions. And it's better to like book through my website, soulworkwithjeni.com, and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have, weekly vibes videos that I do and talk about the energies every single day, how to work with them, how to manifest, what to expect, how to utilize that energy. And I have a new show coming out, Soul to Soul Connections with Jeni G, interviewing, very inspirational people, celebrities, people that with stories, real stories. So this first episode will soon be out and you can watch that. And Nori's coming on as well, by the way, everyone. So,
and
it's a lot different.
it's a little bit of a different twist too. It's a little bit more
Yeah, it
personal.
is. Yeah.
Right? I like it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I started it about 4 years ago, and then because of certain events, I got busy and kind of went in a different direction. And I had so many people, when are you interviewing again? When are you interviewing? And I'm like, I don't know, because that's what I'd do. I'd book, I'd host and produce my other television show at Shaw TV at the television studios, but I was only like local, really, to book local people. And I wanted to expand and talk to the real people that I know, more worldly people and such like that. So this time, yeah, from the interviews I've done before, a lot of people, when are you doing it again? I'm like, I know. So I'm like, okay, all right, okay.
I can't wait. I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so I'm on all over social media, right?
So you've got your YouTube channel, Jeni G, right?
Yeah,
And then
Jeni G Cousins. I have Twitter at Soul Work with Jen. I have Pinterest, Jeni Cousins. I have Facebook, Jeni Cousins. I'm on Instagram, Jeni Cousins. Yeah, yeah, and YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. And your
Yeah,
website
and my website. Yeah,
is
yeah, soulworkwithjeni.com.
perfect. Thank you so much, Jen. I
Well,
love
I'm
hanging.
always grateful. I know. I'm always grateful for spending time with you. Always grateful.
So
It's
good.
always so much fun.
Yeah, and I'll see you soon on your show, and then you're coming on our show again. So, yay, I get to see you more frequently. I just want to
Yay!
say thank you to everybody who is in the chat room, and thank you if you're here on the replay. And don't forget that we've also got our Tuesday night show, Broadcast Team Alpha, 8 p.m. Tuesday, that's Eastern. And then we've got our new paranormal show, which airs on Sunday at 9 p.m. Then, of course, our quick show on Friday night, the Quantum Wellbeing Show. And we're also co-creating with the Conscious Awakening Network. You can find Jeni over there. You can find our shows over there, and a lot of cool stuff going on. So I just want to do a shout out to them. And everybody, much love, so much love to you. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Jen. So much love to you.
Oh, thank you.